Hello everyone, this is Junaid from DSC KIIT and I am back with another video in the C programming tutorial series. In this video we will be talking about data types and variables. Now data types and variables are one of the most fundamental building blocks of any C program, so having a good knowledge of them is very important. So yeah, let's jump into it. So I'll create a new folder, data types, and I'll create a new file, data types and variables.c. Okay, so let's write the basic program boilerplate. Okay, so variables. So when you hear the word variables, the first thing that comes to your mind is the variables that we learn in math. So in math we are taught that variables are numbers or values that constantly change. So we assign them a name and then we use them under using that name. So the idea of variables in programming is pretty much the same. Variables are used to assign and store values that we think might change in the whole program. In order to declare variables in C, we need two things. We need a data type and we need a variable name. The same way we do in math using X and Y, we can do the same thing in C, but it's a little bit more flexible because we can name the variables anything. So say I want to name a variable A and I want to store an integer in it. So the way to do it in C is int A is equal to 10 or any value you want. This will declare an integer A and store the value 10 in it. Or we can do something little more fancy like 42 or any integer. Similarly, I can declare another variable B, and name it say 13. So what it will do is it will go on, create a variable and store the values I specified here in this. Also one more thing, please do put semicolons after every statement, because if you don't, the compiler will give errors. It is important to put a semicolon at the end of every statement. If we run this, nothing will happen. What I mean is nothing will print on the screen. So we did GCC data types will also see error, nothing comes out because we did not print anything. Now as I mentioned, each variable needs a data types. There are 5 types of data types we can use in C that are given to us. So I'll list them out. So they are I'll put a comment here. 5 data types. Number 1 is int. Oops. Second is a float. Third is a double. I'll explain what these are in a minute. Fourth is a car or character, and fifth is void. So an int means integer. That's pretty obvious. What a float is, to talk about floats are variables that can store decimal values. So anything like 3.14 or 10.32 or anything like that. Anything that has decimal places, floats can store them. A double is similar to a float. It's totally similar. Just the difference is a double can store twice the amount of numbers as compared to a float. So it has double the size. That's why it's called a double. A character is to hold a character. So anything on your keyboard you can see numbers, alphabets, special characters, question marks and all that. You can store them in a character. A void means nothing actually. Void is actually used for functions that don't return anything. It is a fundamental data type, but we do not really declare variables that start like void variables are not really declared that much. So then in terms of variables, we only have these 4 data types that we usually use. Let's declare some variables using these. So we will pick some specific names. So something like int age equal to 10. Possible, right? Then we can do float weight is equal to 72.46. Oops, I forgot the same. Then we can do double pi. So let me guess 3.14159. Okay, Then let's declare a character. So char say initial is equal to, my name is Junaid, so initial J. We can also do something like char question is equal to question mark. So if you run this, I'll compile. Oh, oops, I forgot a semicolon. See? Yeah. So if I compile and run, nothing gets printed because we did not put any printf calls to print these variables. So I will show you how to print these in another file. Oh, so okay, I'll create a file. I'll name it input output. Let's see. I'll go here. Let's just copy paste this. Control C, Control V. I'll remove these comments. Just like we use printf to print the text hello world, we can also use printf to print things, print variables specifically. So printf is defined in the stdio.h header file. So what we'll do is, I'll just show you how to do it. So for example, the age, for example, if you want to print the age, so we'll do the age is, and then we do a percentage and we do d. We can also use I, but I'll show you. And we put in age. So if I run this gcc input output.c and do a dot out, the age is 10. I forgot my new line. So the age is 10. So what happened was, when we specified this percentage d, what printf did was it took the age variable and put it in this position. So one more thing I want to show you how this position varies. So if I want to turn this is the age, this also would work fine. So as you can see, it moved the 10 to the starting of the sentence. So this percentage d is what we call format specifiers for printf. Each data type has its format specifier. I'll put it here as a comment. So for integers we can do percentage d or percentage I. Oops, not $I, percentage I. For floats it's percentage f. It's pretty obvious. For doubles it's percentage lf. For a character it's percentage c. So now what I'll do is I'll print all these variables and show you. So we can percentage c, right? Yes. So printf, the age is percentage, we use d, let's just use I. So age, printf, I'll do a new line here. Printf, the weight is percentage f and do weight. We'll do printf, the value of pi is percentage lf pi, and say printf, my initial is percentage c, new line, new line, and initial. I'll add new line here, and I'll add a new line here. Okay, so if we run this gcc input output.c and /hello a.out, we can see the age is 10, the weight is 72.45999, the value of pi is this, and my initial is j. So this is how we print values. Now let's do one thing. Now what if we want to take the values as an input from the user and not write it down directly in your program? So for that we use the function scanf. Let's look at an example using scanf. I should create a new file. So touch scanf.c, and I'll write everything new. So include stdio.h int main. Okay, so let's say you have a program that wants to ask the user's age, right? So we do int age, and we don't specify it a variable because we want the user to give it, right? So I'll show you how to do it, then we'll explain. Printf enter age, and then we can do scanf. The same format specifiers are used in printf are also applicable in scanf. So age is an int, so we do %i, and we do and the variable name. This ampersand we put is actually necessary. This is specified in the scanf. You will understand more of what this is when we discuss the chapter of pointers and references. So now what this scanf line will do is it will read an input from the terminal and it will store it in the age variable. So after this, if we print the age variable, the age entered is %i. You can also use %d. I prefer %i because integer and I matches, and we do age, and we put a new line here. If we compile this, gcc scanf, okay, a.out, so enter age, and it will just stop. So it is asking for input. As long as you don't give input, it will stay like this forever. So I'll put the age, and you can see I am 19 years old, so the age entered is 19. So as promised, scanf waited for the user's input, stored that input in the age variable, and then finally we printed it. So we can use this for all sorts of data types using the same format specifiers we used in printf. I'll show an example using that. So let me just clear this out. I'll just comment this. Okay, so let's say let's do all the three. Let's do three variables. So int, say a, and float b, and char c. Doing this and not like specifically telling a is equal to this will just declare the variable and not initialize it. So then we can do what we can do is we do printf enter an int, we do scanf %i and a. So let me just copy paste this 3 times. I'll put a space here. So enter an int, enter a float, enter a char, %f, and float is b, so and of b, and then finally %c and of c, because c is a character, right? Okay, now let's print these in a single line. So we can also do, this is also a trick in printf, we can also put multiple of these format specifiers in one line. So %i, %f, and %c, and we do something like while the values entered are I'll put a new line here, a, b, and c in that specific order, because a will go in here, b will go in this, and c will go in this. So if we compile, there is one catch in this program. I'll tell you what happens. We will do gcc scanf.c. Oops, I think I made a typo. Oops. Printf ./a.out, enter an int. Let's say we put 15. Float, I'll do 4.23. And now look what happens. When I pressed enter, it just totally skipped the car and just went on to print. Now this is a small bug. What happens is when we enter a float and we press enter, that black \n character gets fed into this next scanf. So to prevent this, we just have to put a space here to ignore that first one. So we do this again. Say 15 4.23 and we can say a character j. Values enter are 15 4.23 and j. This works fine. So take care of this thing whenever you have character inputs. And you have an input that like takes input before that character, then make sure you put this space here to ignore that /n. So yeah, this is how we use scanf to print variables. I guess this is all for this video. I will talk about the type specifiers that we can use with data types in the next video. I will link all the necessary materials in the description below. Do like and share this video and subscribe to the DSC KIIT YouTube channel for more updates like these. And I'll see you in the next video.